Hello guys, welcome back to the course. In this video, we are going to find nearby city using proximity analysis. Okay, now let's get started. The first thing that you need to do is to install ipyleaflet. So let's copy this and let's compile the code. Next, you will also need to install Geocoding. So let's copy this and let's compile the code. As you guys can see, we have successfully installed these two Python packages. Next, we are going to import three libraries. The first library is ipyleaflet. From ipyleaflet, import map marker, circle marker, base maps, and layer control. Next, we are going to import nominatim. And lastly, we are going to import great circle. Next, we are going to create functions to geocode city name to coordinates. So I'm going to name the functions geocode city. You can name it whatever you want, guys. It is totally up to you, and these functions has one parameter, and that's city name. Inside these functions, we are going to initialize the geolocator with a user agent. So let's create a new variable. I'm going to name it geolocator. You can name it whatever you want, guys. It is totally up to you. And we are going to utilize the nominatim. So let's copy and paste that. We are going to set the user agent to geoanalysis. Next, we are going to perform geocoding on the city name to get the location data. So let's create another variable. I'm going to name it location. You can name it whatever you want. In this case, we are going to utilize geolocator.geocode functions. And we are going to put the city name inside the parentheses. And lastly, this function is going to return the latitude and longitude as a tuple. So let's copy and paste the locations, put it inside the parentheses. We are going to add dot latitude. And we are also going to add dot longitude. Okay guys, we are done with these functions. Next, we are going to create another functions to calculate distance between 2 points in kilometers. So I'm going to name these functions calculate distance. You can name it whatever you want, guys. And these functions has two parameters. The first one is 0.1 and the second one is 0.2. So to conduct proximity analysis, we will need to calculate great circle distance between 2 points. Let's copy and paste this model, great circle. And we are going to have two things inside the parentheses, 0.1 and 0.2. In addition, we want the distance in kilometers. So we are going to add dot kilometers. Next, we are going to get the input from the user. If name equals to main, Down here, I'm going to create another variable. I'm going to name it city name. You can name it whatever you want, guys. And we are going to get the input from the user. So you will be able to enter any city that you want. I will type in, enter a city name to find nearby big cities. Next, we are going to geocode the city name to coordinate. So let's create another variable. I'm going to name it city coords. So this variable represents the city geographic coordinates. And we are going to utilize these functions, geocode city. So copy and paste that. And remember, guys, these functions has one parameter, and that's city name. So we are going to put the city name variable inside the parentheses. So basically, we are using these functions to convert whatever city name that you enter into geographic coordinates like latitude and longitude. For example, if you enter Austin, then these functions will return the latitude and longitude for Austin. Next, we are going to print the city coordinates. I'm going to type in coordinates of, let's copy and paste the city name and put it here. And we are also going to print the city coordinates. So let's copy and paste this variable and put it here. Next, we are going to create a list of big cities and their coordinates. I'm going to create a new variable. The name of the variable is big cities. You can name it whatever you want. So you can go to Google and just type in any big city that you want. For example, New York. And just type in coordinates. And here is the coordinate, guys. Here is the latitude and here is the longitude. However, in this case, I already have my list. So I'm just going to copy and paste the big city coordinates from this page. So let's go back to Google Colab. Okay, so now we are going to do proximity analysis. So we are going to calculate the distance from input city to its big cities. For example, if you enter Austin, Texas, it is going to calculate the distance from Austin to these big cities like New York, Los Angeles, Chicago. Okay, so let's do it, guys. Firstly, we are going to create a dictionary to store nearby cities. I'm going to name the dictionary nearby cities. Next, we are going to iterate over each city in this list. So we are going to use for loop. For city, comma coords, and big cities. Let's copy and paste this. Then we are going to add dot items. Inside this for loop, we are going to calculate the distance to the input city. So let's create a new variable. I'm going to name it distance. You can name it whatever you want, guys. It is totally up to you. And we are going to utilize the calculate distance functions. And if you remember, these functions has two parameters. The first one is 0.1 and the second one is 0.2. So in this case, 0.1 is the input city. So we are going to use this variable city coordinates. And 0.2 is the coordinates of the big cities. So you can copy and paste this and put it inside the parentheses. Next, we are going to check if the distance is within 500 kilometers range. If distance is less than or equal to 500, then we are going to add like those cities to the nearby cities dictionary. So you can copy and paste this. And we are going to add the city to this dictionary. Next, we are going to display map with input city and nearby big cities. So now we are going to create a map using ipyleaflet. So let's create a new variable. I'm going to name it amp. And obviously the map is going to be centered around the input city. So let's copy and paste the city coordinates and put it inside the parentheses. Next, we are going to set the zoom to 6. And lastly, we are going to set the base maps to OpenStreetMap. Next, we are going to add marker for input city. So you'll be able to see which one is the input city. Okay, so let's create a new variable. I'm going to name it input city marker. Firstly, we are going to specify the locations. So let's copy and paste the city coordinate and put it inside the parentheses. Next, we are going to set the title to city name. So let's copy and paste this variable and put it inside these parentheses. After that, we are going to add the marker to the map. m.addLayer. We are going to put the input city marker inside the parentheses. Okay, next, we are going to add markers for nearby big cities. We are going to use for loop for city, comma quotes, and nearby cities, dot items. So in this case, we are going to iterate like each element in this dictionary. Let's create a new variable. I'm going to name it marker. Okay, so in this case, we are going to use the circle marker model. So you can copy and paste this. Let's specify the locations. So it's going to be the coordinate of each big cities. I'm going to set the radius to 7. Next, I'm going to set the colors to blue, but if you want to use different color, it is totally up to you. I'm going to set the fill color to blue. And lastly, I'm going to set the fill opacity to 0.6. Next, we are going to add marker to the map. m.addLayer. Let's copy and paste this variable marker and put it inside the parentheses. Next, we are going to add layer controls to toggle visibility of the layers. m.addControls. In this case, we are going to use layer controls model, so you can copy and paste this and put it inside the parentheses. And lastly, we are going to display the map. Before compiling the code, there are a few mistakes that we need to fix, so I really apologize for this mistake, guys. Okay, so we should have parentheses right here because we forgot to close this parenthesis. Next, we also need to have parentheses right here and also right here. Okay guys, next we are going to compile the code, so let's click this. Okay, so I'm going to enter Austin. You can enter any city that you want, it is totally up to you guys. Okay, here we go. So this is Austin, and there are 3 nearby cities: Dallas, Houston, and San Antonio. Okay, we have successfully conducted proximity analysis. I think that's it. That's all you need to know. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.